Listen to the outrage and disbelief of onlookers as they watched a 1-year-old little girl left alone in a car while ICE agents arrested her father, who is a U.S. citizen.
Federal ICE thugs have gone way too far this time, and honestly, that should be an expired statement because I think they went too far months and months ago, but somehow they keep coming up with creative ways to shamelessly violate our constitutional rights. This time, they've not only detained a legal American citizen, but they also stole his car and the baby in it. Now, fortunately, 2 out of 3 of these stolen items have been returned, the baby included. However, the man who was kidnapped by ICE as well still seems to be missing. Now, we've seen ICE time and time again completely disintegrate the lines between proper police work and domestic terrorism, like when they've detained other legal citizens of the United States.
So Mr. Garcia is an American citizen who simply just wants to work in peace. 2 times now, immigration officers have barged onto work sites where he was working and detained him without any reason to think that he had done or was doing anything unlawful.
And this is nothing in comparison to the absolute unjust brutalization of other American citizens and detainees. And now they're stealing citizens' cars along with their babies in them. I mean, where does it end? Trump has to realize that his ICE agents have stepped out of line far too many times, and maybe it's time that he walks some of this suppression of our constitutional rights back. Well, if you thought that, you'd be dead wrong. In fact, he's doubling down on what ICE is doing, stating that they haven't gone far enough.
More recently, Americans have been watching videos of ICE tackling a young mother, tear gas being used in a Chicago residential neighborhood, and the smashing of car windows. Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
You're okay with those tactics?
Yeah, because you have to get the people out.
So I guess ICE had to step up their game because, according to Trump, they hadn't gone far enough. Well, is this far enough yet? Is kidnapping children and stealing the owner's car going far enough? I'd like to think we hit that milestone months ago, but here we are, going as far as we can, with no end in sight. And before I show you the raw footage of this arrest and this kidnapping, we need to look at a previous incident of ICE creating a narrative around one of their unlawful arrests by claiming that they were assaulted, that they were attacked by the person that they brutalized. In fact, they use a similar narrative to justify this kidnapping that we'll see in just a little while.
Yeah! Hit and run! Hit and run! That's a hit and run! Hit and run! Hit and run! That's a hit and run! Hit and run! Hit and run! Yeah! Look, hey, watch out with that weapon! That weapon! Yo, watch out! What's wrong with you? You hit it! You hit her! Yo! Leave her alone! She ain't even do shit! She trying to go to work! She's trying to go to work!
What the fuck?
Yo, what? Y'all some crazy. Y'all got no heart, for real. No heart. No heart.
Get off!
Crazy.
She's a female! Get off of her right now!
You guys hit her! How you guys gonna arrest her?
Well, firstly, it's pretty clear that the ICE agents crashed into her vehicle and then decided to punish her for allegedly ramming into them. Unfortunately for the Gestapo, the cameras tell a very different story. But this is how we're conducting traffic stops now. Guns blazing, no Miranda rights, no identification from the officers, no announcing who you are, no showing your badge. The only thing they have to show at this sort of traffic stop incident are their guns, apparently, and that's enough to give them authority, which becomes a very obvious problem when there are people dressing up just like ICE agents, wearing just about whatever they want to with a fake police vest on, a mask just as they wear, and they don't identify themselves, and then they go and kidnap people and commit crimes. This is what this type of behavior enables. Tricia McLaughlin, the Assistant Secretary at the Department of Homeland Security, stated, quote, "In fear of public safety and of law enforcement, officers attempted to remove her from the vehicle. She violently resisted, kicking 2 agents and causing injuries. This agitator was arrested for assault on a federal agent, McLaughlin said. Strange that she was arrested for assault and then later released the same day with no charges. Maybe that's because she did not assault anyone. She was trying to defend herself and resist being arrested against unidentified mass Gestapo members who could have easily been criminals. I mean, they crashed into her vehicle and came out of the van with weapons drawn, threatening her life. Her life was in danger, but yet the Department of Homeland Security wants to protect the agents who are clearly in the wrong over the United States citizen who had their rights taken from them and had to fear for their life because of mass agents pulling guns on her and dragging her out of her vehicle and aggressively arresting her and stuffing her in the back of their vehicle. And this type of threat of kidnapping does not come without consequences. There have already been people posing as ICE agents, using the veil as an opportunity to commit acts of violence against other individuals. But let alone what ICE is doing is already bad enough, including the arrest of a US citizen, the theft of his car, and the kidnapping of his baby.
Am I hurting you? Am I hurting you? Am I stopping?
Hey, you got the foolish you know that?
Hey, they about to drive. They about to
Idiot,
dude. This is new.
Look at this
Child, bro, that's a child.
real patriotic.
They're hiding their faces.
Look at that, in the car with guns with the baby. Look at this scumbag right there. Look at that. Look at that, with a baby in the back. Look at that. Look. Look at this. Look at this scumbag right there.
I mean, what can you call this? What can you call this, honestly, other than a literal kidnapping? A literal kidnapping. This isn't how an ICE agent is supposed to conduct themselves. This isn't how federal law enforcement is supposed to conduct themselves. Any law enforcement in this situation where you are arresting an individual for a crime, assuming it is a crime because they stated that allegedly this man had a hammer and was throwing rocks at them, though others are saying something different. Regardless, this is what police and ICE agents are supposed to do in this situation where there is a child involved with the person they are arresting. If the police officer arrests you during the traffic stop and takes you to jail to await criminal charges, what will happen to your children who were in the car with you? If you are married or share custody of the children with an ex-spouse or ex-partner, the officer may call the children's other parent to pick them up and take them home. If there's nobody to call, the officer may call a social worker to help place the children somewhere safe and with adult supervision for the night. They didn't do anything of the sort. They made no effort to contact this child's other parents, a relative, anything of that nature, even though the detainee allegedly asked for them to do so. Instead, they thought it appropriate to not only steal his car, but to also drive off with the child in the back seat, terrified of the masked men who are clearly kidnapping her. Now, fortunately, it does seem that they took her to a safe location and she was returned to the family. This is what the victim's mother had to say about the incident.
Still emotional over the whole ordeal.
My son was taken by masked men, scared, heavily armed ICE agents, while my granddaughter remained strapped in her car seat in the back of the vehicle. After my son and his daughter were taken, our family received a call from an unknown number. It was the Border Patrol asking to me to pick up my granddaughter. We didn't know what happened to her while she was in their care, and they wouldn't give us information about when my son would be released or where he was.
I wouldn't trust an ICE agent as far as I could throw them, let alone trusting them with a child in their care. There is no telling what that child could have gone through under their supervision. And even if nothing did happen, it sets a precedent that it's okay for ICE agents to kidnap children directly from US citizens and do whatever they want to with them. Now, obviously, it's already been made acceptable by Trump and the administration that it's okay for ICE agents to kidnap children from illegals, but now they're also doing it to US citizens, both of which are terribly wrong. And this is the kind of dangerous activity that is going to lead to people being wrongfully taken away, not just by the ICE agents, but people posing as ICE agents. Criminals hiding behind a mask and a police vest and a vehicle which is unmarked just as they drive. They drive unmarked vehicles, give you no indication that they're law enforcement of any variety. People will be able to replicate that exact same thing, and they already have, and create immense danger for US citizens and people all across the country. This is a golden ticket for dangerous criminals to take advantage of people who can't resist, they can't fight back out of fear of being shot, out of fear of being arrested, out of fear of being brutalized, beat, and thrown to the ground. This is absolute horrend police work, if you can even call it that. And these ICE agents need to be held accountable for their crimes. Even the Supreme Court has made an effort to start getting ICE agents to identify themselves in all interactions with the public, as they should, and people will also be allowed to call the police on ICE to ensure that they are not being kidnapped by somebody posing as a federal agent. So whether it's the Trump regime's Gestapo, or if it's masked criminals assaulting, kidnapping, stealing, and terrorizing families, it's all the same.